Namaste, I am the Queen of Cups, Montreal. This week's reading will be all about the energy, karma, and gifts you are carrying with you from your past lives. At this point, I invite you to pick the deck or crystal which resonates strongest for you. In the video description, you will find links for my spiritual services, my Etsy store for healing crystals for past life work, and my social media. You will also find timestamps for your chosen reading, which you can use to navigate the video. Thank you for joining me. Please like and share. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications for future readings. As always, love all and harm none. This includes yourself. Namaste, Charoite group. As I mentioned in the introduction, this is a past life reading. More tapping into the energy of your being in your past life. What challenges you bring with you or past hurts, what healing messages or gifts or strengths do you bring with you, and what lessons or karma keeps repeating in your life that you need to learn and heal in order to move forward and get closer to ascension. All right, so position number 1 is the energy of your being in your past life. We want to know the most important facets of your character in your past life. By the way, at my tarot channel does a beautiful supplemental reading of like past life energy and past life love that you might want to check out if you're lucky enough to catch one. All right, energy of your being in your past life. You're definitely a higher power, a spiritual person, a highly spiritual person. We're thinking, or I'm thinking, shaman, medicine woman, medicine man. There's a highly spiritual component in which you understood your ability to manifest and to heal. I get a deeply healing energy for you, Charoite group. You are definitely connected to spirit, and you understood the power that spirit had for you and worked within you. Position number 2, what challenges are you bringing? What do you need to heal? What needs to be healed from your past life that you brought with you into this one? All right. So you need to continue to learn to heed intuitive messages and be able to see beyond the veil. So I feel like, yes, you are a deeply spiritual person. You were able to heal and manifest, but take note of intuitive messages. Perhaps you had a little bit of hubris, or ego self spoke to you and you didn't quite heed the messages of spirit so in tunely. So this is another chance you get to like heed the messages of spirit, heed intuitive understanding, connect with your spirit guides, connect to your spiritual self. So you're not alone, and heed the advice, even though you're definitely endowed and imbued with spiritual energy. Also be able to reach out to your higher self, spirit guides, and spiritual and angels and spiritual messengers in order to receive your messages. This flew out of the deck, so it's yours. What gifts did you bring with you, Charoite group? You took the ability to overcome your fears. That doesn't mean you were never afraid or that you don't get afraid, but you understand that your fears are something that need to be walked through, overcome, met head on instead of avoided. You're able to go after what you want. This is a gift of yours. Perhaps that you were in another past life or in the recent past life, you were somebody who had to provide for their needs in a more visceral way than we do going to the supermarket or even, plucking fruits and vegetables from our garden in our backyard. You were going after what you wanted. You had to face your fears. You had to look what you were afraid of head on and go after what you wanted anyway. So this is definitely a gift of yours to overcome challenges and make sure your needs are met. Perhaps you're so self-reliant, this is making position number 2 make more sense. Perhaps you're so self-reliant that you don't reach out for help from your higher power enough, or your spiritual guides and angels. What lesson does karma keep bringing you, Charoite group? What lesson are you sick of seeing repeated and repeated until you really figure it out, or heal it, or overcome it? And karma is not necessarily, it's not always like, oh, bad karma, bad karma. We hear that so much. Sometimes karma is just the lesson that keeps repeating until we get it, until we are able to heal whatever's missing in us that's not connecting to that message. So I think that you need to be able to go beyond sustenance, go beyond what you can do for yourself, and really take it to the next level. Become embrace the ability to thrive and to achieve abundance and to pursue abundance. Build on your self-confidence, build on your ability to manifest greatness for yourself. Maybe in this situation you keep saying, oh, in this lifetime rather, you keep saying, oh, I can't do it, or what if I fail, or, you know, just enough, I don't want to push it too much, you know, I don't want to ask for too much, I don't want to push myself too hard. Maybe this is what's saying, yes, in your past life you met your needs, and that was the goal of that, the material goal of that past life, just get my needs met. Maybe it was that hard, but now is your opportunity to thrive, and it's about taking yourself from surviving to thriving. So to summarize, as I usually do, in the past life you were a deeply spiritual person. You were able to heal perhaps for others, or manifest positive outcomes for others. Perhaps you gave other people wisdom. I get a deeply healing vibe. You were healing people, medicine woman, medicine man, shaman. What was your challenge? Your challenge is to really take note of intuitive messages. You're deeply spiritually connected, that's no doubt, from position number 1, but do you really seek out extra help? Do you go beyond yourself to really trust in the abundance of the universe? Trust in the knowledge and the wisdom of the universe? Or are you busy here focusing on your greatest gift, which is the ability to provide for your immediate needs, get your needs met, get what you want, meet your provisions? Are you stuck there? Are you not taking enough time to focus on how much more there can be, or how much more success, abundance, and thriving you can achieve? So that is about your past life. Let's get some crystals. I feel like a little bit more optimism and confidence. I want you to get some sunstone. You can do more than just survive. There's a life waiting for you where you can really thrive. I want you to be able to heed intuitive messages, which is like something we can do with kyanite, lapis lazuli. But I also want you to feel like you are loved. You're divinely loved. You're not just out there striving alone. So that's why I want you to connect also to the love that your higher power and your guides and the universe has for you. So that's heart chakra energy. All right, guys. So to summarize the crystals, I want you to connect to confidence and self-worth and optimism. So that's the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. That's orange and yellow stones. I want you to connect to your intuitive messages. Perhaps you didn't heed those messages in the past life. I want you to connect to your third eye. That's blue, purple, and clear stones. And then finally, I want you to connect to the love of the universe. Heal whatever trauma you felt from having to go it alone. I want you to connect to rose quartz and green stones like amazonite, malachite, and green aventurine. You guys, with every message and reading, I send out a little namaste vibe and love and light. I hope you received it today, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Namaste, guys. Namaste, Rhodonite group. You'll notice this week I chose all crystals that help heal past lives. So that's, where are we? That's Charoite, Snowflake Obsidian, and your group, Rhodonite. All crystals that help heal past lives. So as I mentioned in the introduction, this is about past life readings, more about your energy that you present, the challenges you bring, the gifts you bring, and the karmic messages that are going to keep following you until we get it right. I say we at the end because we all have these karmic messages that we just have to understand. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you deeply hurt somebody in the past life. It just means like these karmic connections will still happening. These karmic lessons will keep happening until you really crack the code. Position number 1, what energy did you have within yourself in your past life? What was the energy you carried with you into the next one? You had an energy of abundance. I feel like you were able to really exchange ideas, exchange gifts. You were a mover and a shaker, perhaps a businessman or woman. You were able to exchange ideas, wealth, energy, skills. I do feel like it was a very material life for you, maybe significantly abundant, or something where you really got to know people and character and equity. You came to know equity and equality. So this is the energy you bring. You're a mover and a shaker. You make things happen. You know what makes people tick. And you definitely know how to get what you need. But you're not a stranger to getting people what they need as well. You make things happen. You're a move maker. A move maker? A change maker? What challenges do you bring with you? We all bring a certain set of challenges from one life into the next, even into the next, into the next. What challenges do you bring with you? What lessons does my Rhodonite group need to learn this life? What challenges do they bring with them, or hard emotions that they need to overcome, or how can they overcome their challenges? Retreat and recharge. So it's interesting how even though you were a mover and a shaker and a change maker and you had all this stuff going on, you were on the grind in the past life, I think that you lived very solitude. You depended on yourself. You relied on yourself. You weren't among the people a lot. You didn't have a lot of close connections. Maybe this is a challenge that you carry into this life where you feel like, yeah, I'm surrounded by people, but I don't really have someone I can really deeply connect to, or I don't feel like I have someone that really gets me or is really there for me. Perhaps you're busy meeting everybody else's needs, but you're like, what about me? When do my needs get met? So you definitely have this energy of the hermit from last life into the next, where you might tend to isolate, put up walls, or block people out from really caring for you. Maybe you're the one busy making all the moves, and you need to settle down and open up and allow people to give you love in return. What gifts are you bringing from the past life into this one? It is the gift of being able to manifest what your ancestors have supported within you, so make the most of what you have, but not be held back by it. And that's such a great gift of being able to say, yes, my ancestors have gotten me this far. The ancestors have, you know, my family, my past, my ancestors for generations have gotten me to this point, to the point where I am. And I love and I accept that, but it will not hold me back. It will not limit me. And that's what we need to do, not only with ancestral energy, past energy, family energy, even like old hurt energy. It's like, yes, this is who it's made me. Yes, this has helped me become, there's a chameleon in the background, you'll notice. Yes, it has helped me become who I am. It will encourage me, spur me forward, but not limit me. And this is a great gift you have, to be able to say, yeah, that's who I was, and I'm grateful, or that's what I lived through, and I'm grateful because it made me who I was, but it does not define me. I love that for you, Rhodonite group. You get them. What lesson, karmic lesson, does life, does the divine keep bringing to you, your higher power keep bringing to you? What lesson of karma are you keeping, the spirit keep causing you to learn? Marbles in my mouth. Let's check here. So we pulled 2. That's interesting. You have to learn to, I hate saying you have to, you need to learn to follow the voice of your spirit, of your higher self, of your intuition, of your guides. I want you to learn to connect to that. Learn to connect to your inner truth, personal truth, inner worlds. I feel like that's the karmic lesson. It's like you need to trust yourself. And then here again, be a visionary, dream and journey. Trust your inner worlds, trust your inner knowing, trust your instinct and your intuition. Spirit is saying you're going to keep being put in situations where your gut and your instinct and your intuition knows best until you learn to rely on it and lean on it and trust it. So I feel like that's your karmic message. Trust yourself. Trust your inner knowing. I feel like for that, you're going to need crystals for truth. So I want you to get all the blue crystals. I want you to get lapis lazuli, blue quartz, blue kyanite, amazonite. This is all throat chakra crystals. I want you to be able to get into communication with people. Of course, I don't have it here, but I want you to get some. Here we go. I want you to get some Dalmatian jasper. It's the zone of community, friendship, togetherness, family. Get out there, interact with people. Create some warmth and some grounding with those you love. You might even want to get some tiger's eye to create that connection and that grounding and that warmth in a grounded environment. And then, you know, you're doing good in terms of moving beyond ancestral patterns and allowing them to empower you and not limit you. But I want you to still connect to your confidence. Keep rolling with that energy. Get some citrine, some tiger's eye, something to keep spurning you forward because you're on a good energy there. So to summarize the crystals, I feel like you need some crystals for truth. That's the throat chakra. Some crystals to connect with others and feel grounded in a space with other people, which is like tiger's eye, Dalmatian jasper. And I want you to keep trusting in yourself, and I want you to have some confidence for that, which is citrine, yellow calcite, sunstone, and tiger's eye, golden tiger's eye. You guys, with every reading, I put a little namaste and love and light out there, and I really hope you felt it today. I look forward to you joining me again next week for another Pick Your Path intuitive reading. You never know what I'm going to come with next, but I'm glad to have this journey with you. Thanks for joining me, guys. Namaste. Namaste, Snowflake Obsidian Group. I'm going to call you just Obsidian Group for short. Thank you for joining me this week. As I mentioned in the introduction, this is a past life reading. My friend at my tarot channel, every now and then she'll give you a bonus reading about past lives and past relationships, which if you're lucky enough to catch them, definitely tune in for that. Though every weekly reading with her is great and very informative. This week with me, though, we're going to be exploring some of what your energy was about in your past life. Not so much who you were, but what your energy was about. We're going to be exploring what challenges you bring with you and what gifts you bring with you. And then we're also going to explore what karmic lessons keep coming up until you really heed them and get them. And sometimes it takes more than once. It doesn't mean you're not getting them, just means you may need a little bit more time to really send the message home. You know, it's like 101 level classes, 200 level classes, 300 level classes. It's the same messages, but they just sometimes get more elaborate so that we know exactly, we get this topic or the field nailed home. So that's your karmic lesson. Position number 1 is trust in your higher forces, the shaman. So that tells me again, like the Charoite group, you are a deeply spiritual person. I feel like this was more on the spiritual side than the healing side, but I feel like this is definitely deeply spiritual. Shaman, medicine man, medicine woman, healer. Somebody could heed the voice of spirit and hear the voice of spirit clearly when that wasn't as celebrated in all cultures at all times. You are definitely a highly spiritual person. Perhaps you were even able to astral project or lucid dream. I feel like there's some hints of that in this card's energy. So you are deeply spiritual. What challenges do you bring with you from last life into the next? What challenges do you need to overcome, or do you keep encountering, or what lessons do you need to learn to overcome these challenges? So sometimes, and that includes me as a deeply spiritual person, we have trouble sometimes being in the material world, making plans, focusing, being like home of logic, being in the home of reason, protecting ourselves and being like strategically guarded, not having walls up or being blocked, but being guarded. Because when you're in the spiritual, you think everything's copacetic and grand and great, and you're just like living in the spiritual realm. But your challenge is really to be practical sometimes, to focus on your material needs, and to know that not all people are good people. You have to be on guard sometimes. You have to like make sure you're letting the right people into your space. You have to cut off negative people, low vibrational people, challenging energies, energy vampires. I want you to really know that even though you're a deeply spiritual person, you could bring this from the past life. There's a time and a place. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more discerning. And spirit is of love, and sometimes we have to be more more discerning and a little bit more guarded. Not everybody means you well. Not everybody has the same namaste positivity energy that you're wanting to put out there and manifest. Position number 3, what gifts do you bring to this life from the last life? What gifts do you bring to this situation? Oh, the spirit fox. So you're able to really explore changing times. You're able to adapt and adjust. You have many gifts of adjustment and adaptation, keenness. You're very swift and clever, and spiritually, emotionally, and pragmatically agile. You're able to change with the times, go with the flow, and you're definitely able to provide for your needs and trust your instincts and your intuition. So you're definitely you're agile. Like when I say agile, it means you can adjust to different situations. You have a lot of gifts, a lot of talents, and a lot of ability to like grow despite your circumstances. So that's the gifts you're bringing to the situation. Once again, some people might say, okay, so what's the purpose of this spread? It's really to help inform past life regression or help you connect to past lives in order to enrich this life. So I hope you can use this reading to do so. What lesson does your higher power, the universe, or karma keep bringing to you that you just keep going over and over again, that you can help, hopefully if we help pinpoint it today, you can help explore it deeper and not have to encounter it again in your next life? I feel like in some ways you need to you keep challenging because you're a deeply spiritual person last life, and then this life the goal is to harness your higher power, your mystic power, your ability and your ability to create, really yes, create the future you want and really connect to that higher power, source energy, like spiritual energy, the magic in life. I want you to focus on that and how you can realize that. I feel like that's the message from last life. Perhaps that's why you were so deeply spiritual, and this is the message from this life. You're deeply spiritual, you're highly connected, you have a wealth of ability, tools, skills, power that is imbued into you from your higher power, from the universe and from your source. And I want you to be able to connect to that. Spirit wants you to connect with that and trust how truly capable you are in like fifth dimensional like terms, or new earth terms than you realize. I feel like, yes, you're able to adapt and maneuver in this life. You got this life kind of on lockdown. You got it figured out, right? But you need to trust your inner world more, higher powers, more mystical energy, divine, spirit. Connect to all the power of spirit that you have within, not just your agility in this world and to manage this world. Sorry about the sun. It is kind of kicking things up. And you might not be able to see things quite as clearly as I'd like. But to connect to your higher power, I feel like Spirit's calling you. Trust us. Trust yourself. You can do this. You can connect. Get some moonstone. And you might want to get some labradorite too. The beauty of the sun is we may be able to catch some really nice labradorescence. Oh, there it is. There you go. That's exciting. Um, from a crystal junkie. Be a little bit more grounded. I feel like you're deeply spiritual, but it's like, and it's interesting because a previous group today was like deeply spiritual but didn't reach out to spirit enough, and you're deeply spiritual but don't trust that you're already imbued with certain gifts and powers and energies inside you. You don't have to reach out so much, it's within you. So I feel like be able to reach out to spirit, but because you're deeply spiritual, you may give people a little bit more leeway, or you may have trouble grounding yourself, or being a little bit more discerning with who you share company with, or who you share your energy with. Company sounds strange, but energy with. So you want to get some grounding stones: obsidian, smoky quartz, black tourmaline, even some red jasper. Ground your energy. So to summarize, I feel like you're a deeply spiritual person in the past life, really trusted in higher power. And what that means is this life you bring that deeply spiritual energy, but I think sometimes you let the wrong people into your space because you feel like they all have good intentions like you, and they're all following the higher good, the divine, and the higher powers energy like you are, and they're not. Some people are just negative, low vibrational beings. And then your gifts this life is to be able to adjust and be agile socially, spiritually, emotionally. So embrace that, and I hope you celebrate that within yourself. But trust that as spiritual as you are, that you are imbued with certain gifts on your own right. You don't always have to reach out to spirit. You have the ability to manifest, to heal yourself, to heal your chakras, to even do a past life regression on yourself. You have these abilities, so be able to tap into them and trust yourself a little more. You guys, with every reading, I like to put a little namaste vibe, love and light into the air and send it out to you. I hope you received it today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week. Thanks, guys. Namaste.